We definitely do not have a democracy in this country. That is probably the biggest lesson I took away from my own 5 years of research for Family of Secrets. We definitely do not live in a democracy. As an American, I feel so incredibly deceived, really, by almost all the things that I've been told about how this country operates, what it stands for, how it functions, who's in charge, you name it. Almost everything you look at, when you really, really dig down, you find out that what we are told is not the truth. People are not ready for the truth. And the entities that are supposed to provide us with the truth, the very things that people turn to every evening on TV and so on to get the truth, these entities simply cannot tell these stories. I mean, I'm an investigative journalist and I cover deep politics, and I knew none of these things. And to come to terms with the sort of enormity of the evil we're talking about and the effectiveness of this apparatus in preventing the public from knowing what is happening. Between George H.W. and George W. Bush, that family has been in the White House, vice president or president, for 20 out of 28 years. That's astonishing. And to learn that George H.W. Bush had a secret life, that he was a secret operative of the Central Intelligence Agency throughout his years, is really astonishing and an extremely important revelation. People have no idea what the success of the Bush family actually represents. It's the culmination of efforts over many, many decades by banking interests to write the history of this country and indeed of the world. Trying to understand why Richard Nixon gave George H.W. Bush all these astonishing opportunities that enabled him to rise to the top, I began studying the relationship with Richard Nixon and discovered that the Bush family had been key in creating Richard Nixon in the first place, and that when Richard Nixon wandered off the reservation as president with his own initiatives that were not authorized by this group of military and intelligence and corporate interests, that they decided to take him down. Watergate was a series of covert operations designed to implicate Richard Nixon in crimes that he did not commit, harm his presidency, and force him out of the White House. There's a fascinating story I uncovered about the back history of the relationship between the United States and the Saudis. And this involves, again, surprise, surprise, George H.W. Bush and a group of people around him engineering a secret shotgun wedding with the Saudi royal family, a shotgun wedding that benefited the royal family, benefited the Bush family and their associates, and really plunged the world into a very fraught relationship with oil that we don't understand to this day. The people who do that are not going to represent their actions that way. They need another narrative, and they create these other narratives, and we know them. They were with Iraq, that were there for democracy, or were there to help the women out in Afghanistan, or there are these weapons that threaten the world. Just basically contrived excuses for people to do these continuing monopoly grabs of natural resources. That's what we've seen everywhere in the world, and that's the story that almost never gets told. And so by seeking out new information, by trying to really understand how things work, we begin to see the solutions. We begin to be in a position to take a roto-rooter to the clogged drain of democracy. The important thing to understand about the Bush family is that it's not over. They're not over. Jeb Bush, a third Bush, is likely to run for president of the United States. Their allies are out there all over the place running candidates. They have their own people are inside the Obama administration right now. They are always there, and they're always going to be there until we wise up.